Welcome everybody back to the NERDSMASH TALKCAST YouTube reviews. I am here today, or I am LT Thornton, and I am here today joined by not only super co-host Steve Woods.
Hello.
But I'm also joined by super producer Boyd Adkins the fourth as well.
We got Batman on the track.
We've got to talk about the Batman.
The Batman.
The Batman, yes. That little conjecture there in the beginning, it's very important to distinguish which Batman we're referring to. So, guys, let's just go ahead and get some first impressions out of the way, all right? Oh, and before I get into it, guys, this is a fully spoiler review for the YouTube channel here. So, we are going to be talking about everything we can about this movie. If you haven't gone to see it yet, first of all, what's wrong with you? Second of all, probably want to stop this and come back to it after you've seen the film. So, before I get to our resident Batman stan, I don't know if I can fully label that title.
You absolutely can. It is.
All right. Let me go ahead and go to Steve.
Yeah.
Since I think this is the freshest in your mind. You're the last one of us to see it,
let
right?
me tell you. So we are recording right now at 7:30, and this movie wrapped up for me at 3:40.
Ooh.
Woo.
So, yeah, it's pretty fresh. Pretty fresh.
Okay. First of all, before you get into your some of your early impressions,
Sure.
what was your theater experience?
Well, again, this was Tuesday. I went at noon, and it was almost full.
Whoa!
And this was the larger theater. You know, you have the whatever the one is, and then you have the larger HD theater, the HDX or whatever it's called, with rave. And yeah, there was. I mean, the very front seats were still open, but it was pretty packed. Pretty packed for a Tuesday at noon.
Speaks to the power of the Batman.
And everyone was very respectful. I do need to say that. For a noon show, no one was on their phones like I've seen in the past.
Very nice.
Yeah. It hit everything for me. I even smuggled in a cheeseburger because it was lunch. So don't tell anybody.
All right. Well, let's get to the Batman. What are you thinking?
Some of the things that I liked, I really liked their Jim Gordon.
Oh,
yeah, that was that was
Jeffrey
great.
Wright.
Jeffrey Wright as Jim Gordon
Does everything right.
So good. Yeah, right.
I think he's one of the Black community's finest living actors currently.
Agreed.
That's probably very true, man. I mean, if we tried to break that down, I'm sure he'd come out somewhere near the top there because he was perfect. He had a different take on Jim Gordon than we've kind of seen in the past too. So definitely good there. Another thing that I liked was the Riddler. I did like that. I liked who he was and his motivations. And the third biggest thing that I liked was Falcone.
Okay.
I in the past, you and I have talked about what we think a Gotham show should be, and I think that he kind of embodied that. Like, he was operating on so many different levels. Now, I'm just going to highlight those three things that I thought were amazing. There were more really good things in this movie as well, but those are the three things that really stood out to me as some of the best I've seen.
Fair enough. All right. We will touch back with you in a second. Let's go to resident Batman Stan Boyd. So, what was your movie theater experience, and what are your early impressions?
So, similar to Steve, I went Saturday at about 1, went to the Cinemark by the Dayton Mall, and very similar, almost packed theater, very respectful and very quiet, which was great. No phones, none of that mess. It was probably one of the best experiences I've had post-COVID. you know.
Nice.
So I have no complaints about that theater. It was really good. I didn't get to smuggling a cheeseburger. I wanted some flaming hot Doritos Locos Tacos, but the Dayton Mall didn't have them. So instead, I just got some small popcorn and ate that sad before the trailers came on. But yeah, theater experience is I'd give it a 1080p.
That's good. That's good.
Nice. All right, and the early thoughts.
This is a really, really good but dirty movie. It's a dirty boy. People who don't like the DCEU dark are going to be agitated because this movie is not only dark, but it's also colorful. Big Batman the Animated Series vibes with how it's dark but colorful. You can see everything, but it makes you feel dirty, and it makes you feel for that city that they're trying to portray. This isn't Chicago style Gotham from the Dark Knight trilogy. This is New York Gotham from the comics. And it is a grimy cesspool of just like dirty, rat infested mob rule. It's and I love every bit of it.
Awesome. So, I think I was the one that saw it first. I saw it way back on Thursday, like the earliest showing I could find. I ended up trying out a new theater because the last time I saw a movie, it was Death on the Nile, and the person sitting directly next to me was spitting tobacco into a cup during the whole movie.
And that's not what you do during that movie.
So that's not what you do during any movie.
Ridiculous.
So that was my last movie experience when I was in, believe it or not, it was an AMC theater too. So, and it was like, AMC Prime.
Oh, right,
so,
right.
Yeah, the thing you get charged $18 extra for. So I tried out this new movie theater, not new movie theater. It was actually a company that took over a former movie theater. It's called Phoenix Theaters. And I paid like $13 for my ticket. I walked in, they had $3 hot dogs.
Boy. So did you just go up and say, "Give me all the hot dogs"?
Did you get $3 hot dogs?
I got three $3 hot dogs, and they have $5 pretzels. I mean, and at the end of the counter, they had leftover movie posters that people could take.
Stop.
I kid
Come
you
on,
not.
son.
I get into the theater. They have the old stiff seats. There's no vibration. There's no reclining. You get in there. Okay. You sit straight up, and the floor maybe looks a little sticky. Things are not pristine. What I'm trying to tell you is my movie theater experience was perfect.
Yes.
It was perfect.
Yes.
I could not have imagined a better one to go see this movie in. Everybody in the movie was quiet. They the phones and everything shut off after the trailer stopped, and everybody stayed till the end credit, and then they left out, and it was just that's all I got to say about that.
That's great, man. That's fantastic.
You just gave me a flashback.
100. It is 100% the theater I'm going to go see Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness in. Hopefully I have the same theater experience. That's all I got to say about that. Just had a really good time watching this movie. My first impressions, I would say a lot of it is just really good, over the moon. I was like, man, this thing is methodical, right? You can tell the filmmaker loves this score, and why wouldn't he, right?
Right.
Loves it. This was a Batman that was inexperienced, but also analytical to a degree that we've never seen. I will say, I wish that we got a Batman that wasn't quite so grounded. I felt like we've done the crazy grounded Batman with the Nolan trilogy. I want this Batman, but I want the I want this Batman to interact with some of the more extreme natures of his rogues gallery, right? Like, tell me you don't want to see this Robert Pattinson Batman against Clayface. Or a Mr. Freeze.
That's the one.
Or, a Poison Ivy, right? We get the same kind of general ones, the guys that are basically, analytic or psychopath versions of basically mob bosses.
Yes, yeah.
I feel like this Batman can go a lot of different places. And specifically, to what Boyd was talking about with the Gotham City, I loved how they presented Gotham City. And I love that Gotham feels like you could say, oh man, that kind of looks like maybe a New York or a Chicago, but wait, it has this weird blend of Gothic architecture.
They did so good.
With technology just kind of bolted to the side of it. It's insane.
They did such a good job there.
Yeah,
yes,
it's got that.
They absolutely did.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say it's like they had the city built in or renovated in the 1940s during that big Art Deco boom, and just nobody took care of it for 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So I mean, I would love to see this Gotham City, contrasted against with the soaring skyscrapers of a metropolis, right? Like the shining city on the hill or whatever. I would love to see that, but I don't think this Batman is getting a universe. If you know what
That's
I mean.
too bad.
It's really too bad.
It's really too bad. It hit on so many different things. And to Boyd's point here, we saw several different Batmans in this movie. It was kind of an amalgam of every good thing about Batmans that we've seen since the 90s and the 80s. In that we saw, like Boyd said, the animated. We saw the Arkham Knight a lot of the times too. In a lot of those fight scenes, I was like, this feels like I'm playing it.
Yeah.
We saw some Batman 89 in there with how brooding and dark he was. We saw some Christian Bale in there. I mean, it just really worked.
Yeah.
So Matt Reeves, man, you just keep pumping him out if you can. Do what you got to do to get this thing.
Also, way to populate this movie with just fantastic character actors all over the place.
Yeah.
With the number one premium shout out going out to my dude Colin. Holy crap.
Underrated.
Holy crap. I have never spent so much time looking at somebody on screen being like, I'm going to find Colin Farrell in there.
And
somewhere.
you didn't.
Can't see it.
He didn't exist.
Mm-mm.
This is a new dude.
Mm-mm.
They just invented a dude for this movie. It was like, that interrogation scene with him and Gordon.
No habla español.
Right. What are you talking about here?
You gonna leave me here?
Right, you gonna freaking leave me here?
Yeah, man. That car chase scene.
Woo!
Beautiful.
Roll it back.
Beautiful.
No. Roll it back. I agree with you, but we need to talk about something before we get to the actual chase. The entrance of the
my God. Let me shooketh.
So let me talk to you.
Yes.
When as tense as that scene gets, guns drilling down, Selena's hiding, you're just wondering what's gonna happen. Are they gonna catch her? All of a sudden you hear
a jet.
And they look back like, what? And they were so confused and looking at this vehicle. And they're just like, what is happening? And the whole time it's revving up. And you're just like, yes.
More and more, you're starting to see it develop. Like it came to life. Like that's what was crazy to me. From the initial sound through all the lights and it was crazy. That was crazy.
Firing and stuff.
As a matter of fact, when that chase concluded, I even asked myself, like, is this my favorite Batmobile?
Honestly, look, if it was, I could not argue against you because that muscle car Batmobile is now officially in my top 3.
Yeah, man. It was
I could
deep.
definitely see it in my top 3. I mean, I still can't get over the aesthetic of the 89.
The 89,
Right.
baby. I know.
Because I was like, bro, imagine me driving down the street in 89 Batmobile. Just like if you saw that driving down the street, it would shock you. I think if you saw this one, it would be like, man, that dude's muscle car is pretty sick.
That dude's land jet is pretty sick.
Right. Exactly. So my number 1 is 89 with my second favorite being that Batman Forever with the glowing blue.
That's my number 1. But of course it is.
Oh, but hey, look, it's nothing, that's a beautiful machine. But yeah, this one, oh my gosh, this one screams violence.
Yeah, it does. It looks violent. You're right.
So while we're talking about violence, can we get into, as Steve put it, the Arkham fight scenes? So I may be alone on this, but as far as fight scenes go, up until this movie, the best Batman fight scene might have been in Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
Yes. The warehouse scene.
Stuff,
yeah.
This takes it and says, okay, remember how you guys like that? What if it was better and we did it twice?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you counting the
doorman
in the dark hallway scene?
Oh,
okay,
my
so 3 times.
Oh, man.
Or are you talking about the foggy?
The end! Oh my god!
Scene on
I forgot about how sweet the ending was.
When he was wrecking people on the catwalk
Ugh.
with their own guns, I was like,
I think I yelped when the smoke bomb came out at the end, and he just started wrecking fools. And there's also something at the end I want to talk to you guys about, but I don't want to get too ahead. But the fight scenes in this movie are fantastic.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Yeah. Also, I feel like someone who's not getting enough credit.
Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz. First of all, not to put anything against her or anything, but like Zoe Kravitz isn't exactly like my cup of tea or whatever. But she was like insanely sensual in this movie, and that's
insanely.
Like Catwoman, right?
Not my cup of tea either, but still did it for me. Listen, here's what I liked. Here's something I noticed, right? They kissed twice in this movie. Both times it was initiated by her, and then in the third time he went to kiss her, she pulled away.
Right.
Proper Catwoman.
I mean, it just shows you like this is a real Catwoman. This isn't here for eye candy like we've seen in past Batman movies where it's kind of superficial. They actually build a character with her.
Bro, she had her own storylines.
Right.
Storylines, not one.
Right.
Storylines.
They've
got options here, believe me.
They made her
they made her Selena Kyle.
Yeah, because that's what she currently is in like the comics. She's pretty much Robin Hood, and that's what they did in this movie.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, they did it right. I'm telling you.
Yep. Let me run through some of the other. I mean, my gosh, John Turturro.
Stop. Just stop.
First off, you said John Turturro, and that should have been enough, but no.
Right.
Carmine Falcone is who he was. Wouldn't know John Turturro. This wasn't the guy from Oh Brother Where Art Thou. This wasn't the Jesus from Big Lebowski. No, this was Carmine Falcone. And
it's not even the goofy FBI agent from Transformers. This is
was it Talk Soft and Carry a Big Stick?
Oh, man, what are you talking about? I will choke this woman in front of this audience, though.
Just like your
mother.
mother.
Choke her out right here.
Oh man, and I think speaking of the choking, like let's get into some of the content of this movie. This is definitely no child's Batman movie.
No, it's absolutely.
And I have to say, that part does make me sad. Because I watched this video essay a little while ago, and it was talking about how a lot of DC's heroes are not accessible to like children right now, because there's not like kind of defend. I mean, maybe League of Super Pets kind of opens something up for it, but there's nothing to the level of Batman animated series, Superman animated series, Teen Titans. That is really going to get kind of that next generation interested in.
And those box office juggernauts like Marvel has, where everybody's going to see.
Yeah, like the closest thing you got is Shazam, and that was big. Okay, it was better than it could have been, but that would have been your kids movie in that universe.
Right, and this is PG-13, even though the language is.
I was gonna say, is it though?
Yeah, I was like,
I had to check and see if it was rated R when I got out.
Right,
I really did.
When the police chief or the commissioner dropped that F-bomb, I was like, hold on, wait a second.
My issue was he is choking her out right now.
Yeah. I'm like, well, or let's talk about the Riddler's freaking 7 murder scenes.
Yes.
I mean 7 as in 7, the Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman.
Right.
Like,
do you know that's exactly what I was thinking?
You finna dismember this guy on a PG-13 movie, bro?
You just carrying around that thumb, bro? Crazy.
Anybody else holler in the theater when he was like, thumb drive? Because I'm like, God.
Right, that's the level of joke in this movie, right? And it was totally like
acceptable.
Right. It was just so matter of fact. Oh, and I remember one thing that my wife pointed out to me that she was super impressed with this Batman about was the eye tracking cameras. She was like, 1000% that's a Batman thing he would do. Literally spend the whole rest of the night watching everything that he did.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I was like, excellent touch. And I loved. Why did his computer sound like the old Batman animated series computer with the?
There were so much BTAS in this movie, and I just loved it. From you want to talk about Batmobiles? That the muscle car. If you took that and just stretched it out, you get the BTAS Batmobile.
Yeah,
you are.
But the way he enters the Batcave and the conversations he's having with Selena, I can talk about this movie forever.
Well, let's talk about Robert Pattinson.
Let's talk about it.
Who wants to go first?
Let's go there.
LT.
You know what? I'll go first. I will say there are moments where, you know, his jawline just doesn't all the way scream like a Batman to me. But I will say everything else, pitch perfect. I look forward to seeing him grow into the role. I look forward to seeing his suit evolve as he becomes more knowledgeable as a Batman. And good Lord, he must have picked this up from the Twilight movies because that dude knows how to act with his eyes, and that's it.
Wow.
My man's just looking in the camera, manipulating the emotions of the audience. This is like, well, okay, well, we are that the whole ending sequence when he's in the interrogation room with Riddler and he's just looking.
Yeah,
you can just tell he's just putting it. You can tell he's putting it together, and he's just like devastated.
Dude, you just gave me chills thinking about that. You're absolutely right.
The death stares.
My biggest thing with the dude was I felt like at certain times in the movie he was kind of soft, right? Yeah. And I feel like that was on purpose so that we could see an evolution of the Batman. Yeah. But at the same time, he was soft, but then would just smash someone's face in. So it was kind of back and forth for me, but I feel like he nailed it. He nailed it.
So there's one thing you guys have been talking about on the show that it's not related. It's kind of related to Batman, where you were talking about how Moon Knight would be the mental illness Batman we all deserved. I think DC finally beat Marvel to the punch because that man is ill in this movie, and you just look at him and go, "Sir, you are not okay."
Well, here's the number one evidence of that for me. Let me think. 1, 2, 3. I think we got maybe 4 Bruce Waynes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's Batman the whole movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which, that had to have been terrible for him, because that suit does not...
Oh, yeah, he said he hated it.
Right, I bet. But like that's almost a whole different level of method acting, dude. That's you just gonna be in Batman for a 3-hour movie?
Giving everyone the side
What we
eye.
doing? Right. You ain't even talking.
You know, when he was out on that balcony with Catwoman, I was really trying to take note because they had some faraway shots of his costume. Man, they hit it. It looks like a year one costume. It's got like boots.
It does.
That you can see the
It does.
seams on at the top. It looks like a year one.
It does. I do hope they add the cape ridges to the bottom of the cape because it's a flat cape.
And we saw why. I mean, they kind of tied everything in and allowed us to see again that there will be an evolution.
Oh yeah.
So we're a little bit into this right now, and obviously we're heaping all this praise and stuff on it. Let's be a little bit negative.
Okay.
And what are things that did not work for you?
I got one big thing that didn't work.
I can't wait to hear.
Same as mine.
I can't wait to hear because I'm hoping it's all the same.
And I'm like, this movie is so good. Oh my God, they're teasing Joker.
That's it.
Why? It's not necessary. We don't need that.
Did not need that at all. It's just,
And now I'm judging it. Now it's in my head, and I got to think about this dude in the cell.
Right.
I'm like, you take it out. I was hoping that was going to be like, oh, you know, Zaz or Calendar Man. You know, something along those lines where we didn't need that. Stay away from it.
Yeah. Like, ugh.
I mean, I knew y'all was going to say the same thing. I knew it.
I said it too.
I was in there just loving that movie and just looking at the Riddler, and I just hear the joke, and sometimes they call you a clown.
Did you know it immediately? Because I knew it immediately, and I was immediately disappointed.
I was hoping they were going to cut, and when it kept lingering, I'm like, they're gonna do it. And I heard his voice, and I did everything but scream the F-bomb in the theater.
Right, and it was the laughing. He's doing the laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
eye roll.
They're doing it.
Yeah.
To me, I felt like this movie needed at least another movie before we even started going into anything Joker related.
Or, they could have did the one thing and just not had Joker.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
you don't need him.
Need it. Eventually, I feel like you do, just because of the conflict there, the constant conflict. But if we're not getting another episode of the Batman, then why even do it?
I believe they are, with the success it had, they are going to fast track it because I believe it was already greenlit before release, and Matt Reeves has some ideas. Like, he's a big fan of Mr. Freeze, so he's got some ideas for that next movie, and I trust him with the sequel after what he did with the Planet of the Apes sequels. So let that man do what he do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, and again, I hope that we don't get a grounded Mr. Freeze who's just a dude with a skin condition. I want a freeze gun. I know it doesn't really make sense in this universe, maybe yet, but I just want them to just go for it.
Figure it out.
Yeah. So let this universe be. Let this universe be.
So you want Ted Danson Gotham series Mr. Freeze?
Wow.
God. By the way, that Joker laugh, I was getting heavy Jerome vibes, but
the makeup was very Jerome, and I didn't like that because it's not what's his name?
Barry Keoghan from
Eternals. I meant the kid that played Jerome in Gotham. There's something Monahan.
Not Patrick. Monahan is definitely his name.
But he's a big mailbox head, but he was great.
Oh gosh, Yeah, I think we're in consensus. It's just like, at the very least, it's too soon for a Joker.
Agreed.
Yes. And plus, we're seeing Paul Dano just go through it.
Mm-hmm.
Why? It wasn't necessary. I was into Paul Dano's Riddler, just going through his successes and by the way, he did some stuff. He pulled off his little plot pretty well.
Yeah, he definitely got away with it.
And talk about mental illness.
And then just to see him, and we're seeing him go through this, man, and then we have to have that. It was unnecessary.
Oh, I did have one very, very minor nitpick. Why did the police act like when they said he's got 500 followers, like that was a lot?
I think that was a bad take because it should have went. He's got 500 followers.
Right, that's what I thought. This dude's got 500 followers, and he's talking about I will speak to the legions.
Yeah. Oh man, oh god, this movie. We could talk about this thing forever. Right. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
There was so much symbolism in here too, like when he lit that torch at the end, and like all of those Gotham citizens were following him like through the dark. Man. And
his evolution, like the way he understood it, the evolution of I have to be the thing that strikes fear to I have to be the symbol of hope for this city.
Yes.
Speaking of striking fear, there's one more thing I want to add because I don't see too many people talking about it. Did you guys see the Venom tease? So at the end, right when he's watching Selena get it handed to her, my man reaches out of his utility belt, grabs that vial, and injects. That ain't adrenaline, kids.
No, it
that's
wasn't.
Venom, and that's how you get good Bane.
That is how.
That is Batman Venom,
dude. I didn't even pick that up. It was green.
I thought that was
no.
Yeah, it could.
That is because
because then he raged.
He raged, but he also talks about it and he writes it in his journal in the movie. He's like, "Fight through the pain. Gotta be stronger." And I'm like, they're not gonna do this. And as soon as he popped that spot open in his suit and jabbed himself, and he punched that dude 27 times, I'm like, oh, we are literally getting Batman Venom. And if we don't, it's a mistake to even introduce that in this movie because that is a whole other mental illness plot point. It's like, you thought I was crazy before, now I'm crazy on drugs.
Yeah. So if we get another Bane shows up and snaps a dude's back in half, you know what? Let's just go full tilt with it. Where's Dave Bautista at?
I would love that.
No, man. You know who you need for Bane right now? Is the dude that's on that Amazon Prime show, Reacher.
Oh, the guy that played Hank in Titans?
He is a monster.
Well, you kind of wanted him to be like ethnically diverse.
Yeah.
Which is why I think Bautista would be a good call.
True.
But
also Bautista's just a big fucking dude.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like he would naturally tower over Robert
Absolutely.
Pattinson. Like, do something, little boy.
And to think about it, you could do your second movie, just mildly mention Venom. Like, he takes it at the beginning of the movie, he's like, nah, and gets rid of it for the rest of the movie, right? The end of the movie, you tease Bane. But if you've got that Arkham show going on, you do all that, you slightly keep it separate, but you mention the Batman. That third movie comes out, Bane, like in Nightfall, breaks all of those crazy people out of the Arkham show, lets them run wild over Gotham, and then at the end, you don't even have to do a fourth movie. Just at the end, he breaks the bat. And that's it. There's your trilogy.
Dang. That's a dark ending.
It was a dark ending in the comics.
Do we get the spinoff Azrael?
Talk about your mental illness, Batman.
Yeah. So I'm gonna kill everybody now.
No!
We good? Nobody deserves it.
Everybody. Oh, and I don't know. I've got some weird connection to like the Knights of Templar and stuff. I don't know. Big deal. Whatever. Anyway, let's go ahead and give our final verdicts. So, I will go ahead and kick us off here. I think that this movie was a ton of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was also slow and methodical, and I felt every minute of this runtime. I will have to say, like, I was like, "Whoo, boy, this is an endurance fest."
Yes, it
but,
is.
That being said, it does pretty much everything right. It's a genuine mystery that you're watching kind of unfold with delicate side plots and side stories.
Detective
yeah,
movie, definitely.
Detective, yeah. I look forward to seeing where it's going to go. I'm giving it a video game win screen. That's I think that's the way to go here.
Wow. Okay.
Whoever wants to go next.
Boy?
I'll put it like this. It's going to be hard to say whether or not this is your favorite or the best Batman movie, but it's going to be twice as hard to argue against anybody that says this is their favorite or the best Batman movie.
Beautiful point.
Not only do I give this a video game win screen, I give this the Arkham Asylum intro theme. It's not a win screen, but it encapsulates this entire movie just like that score.
Nice. Well, Boyd, you hit the nail right on the head. This is a shark punching video game win screen for me.
I love that reference.
I don't feel like they did anything that I can't move on with, and I just feel like this is a world that is so deep and so rich that we need more. And that's kind of my point, right? Do we need to see more of this? The answer is yes. However that spins out, we need more. And I love that they recently switched that to the Arkham, the series that is coming soon. Switched it over to Arkham. It's exciting to me. More Jeffrey Wright. More.
I'm still weary of streaming spin-off shows. I mean, Peacemaker. I mean, you know how I feel about Peacemaker.
Yeah.
But I feel like quality-wise, it's the exception to the rule, right? And then, what's the story that they're trying to tell with this Penguin spin-off show that wasn't already told in Gotham,
Honestly, there's so much to do. We could speculate, but that could be a whole other episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And to follow your guys' theme motifs as for video game win screens, this is in Arkham City. So. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for listening to this YouTube exclusive review. Please check out the regular podcast for some of our non-spoiler thoughts and the other news from the week. But for now, that is the review. We'll talk to you later.
Holler.
Holler.